to chat with you guys about is I just realized at the age of 35, if your children has not found a path, we have a son, and we have tried and put him through many different colleges, technical courses, and it just seems like he can't find his path. He was insistent on going into the military as a teenager, but truthfully, I already lost a son, and I could not bear the fact that he would go into active war and that I would lose another son, my only child. So I told him I would fight it, that I would go to the recruiter, and it's a regret. I will tell you to this day, knowing the people that I know now who've been through the military, they have succeeded and learned how life goes. He is now 42. He doesn't have the options anymore of doing military. He doesn't like Coast Guard. So many of the things that he would have enjoyed doing but found out too late. If you're above 35, they just don't take you anymore. So if your child has not been directed by the age of 30, start trying to help them motivate into something serious, because once they're 40, and I've spent so much money on all kind of tech schools, and again, he really got an associate's degree but didn't want to pursue any further college. Music was actually his love. So I'm going to take this off. It just seems to be so bouncy. I just hope y'all can hear me and see okay. But last night I was thinking about this, and I thought to myself, you know, if I'd have known, we always know later, we tell ourselves, if we had only known today, back then, I would have now thought that the military, I didn't know you could quit the military, and that's just simply the truth. I had no idea that if you didn't like it or things got rough, and that there's so many options of being a reservist. And I'm not trying to talk everybody into military, but when you see your child at 40 years old and they want to do something so bad and provide for their family, and they can't get a foot in the door anywhere, now they're 40, and it's just like a lot of the possibilities are just not open to them anymore. You know, I suggest different businesses, and I guess I feel bad as a mom. I tried my best. I put him in Christian school. I was a stay-at-home mom for most of his high school, well, most junior high. I started working when he was in high school. But it was, you know, the loss of his brother was catastrophic for all of us. It was something that no one should ever have to go through. So I'm telling you guys this today because if you have children, you know, and they want to do something, I know now I should have prayed about it, but I had such fear that all I could think of is I can't lose another child. And this would have been about 2 years after I had lost my teenage son. So I fought him, but I have a friend that has one child that they adopted, and he was going down a very wrong path. And they said, look, you're either going to go to juvenile hall of some kind, you're going to wind up in prison, or go to the military. Well, it turns out in the military, he was able to learn how to do drones. He's actually a flight. He was trained in the procedures of drones and how to manpower our military drones. And talking to them today, it was one of the best things they could have done for their son. He had been in all kinds of trouble, and you know, now, you know, him and his wife were both military. And I always think, well, man, I really missed it as a mom. Some days I think, you know, what could I have done better? I don't know how to direction children. Find the technology. Maybe technology today is a lot better in knowing what what their interests are. But the truth is, I've had so many different businesses, and I've had all kinds of different, believe it or not, I owned a small car dealership in Houston at one time, me and my husband. And it was fun, but it was exhausting. You know, I've owned a hair salon. I've been a real estate agent. I have done so many things, and you won't even believe this. The best job was the time that I worked for Sanderson Farms, and we actually owned a farm, and we raised chickens. And it was mass produced. All the technology was computers. It was high-tech chicken farming. It was mass produced. So anyway, I was, you know, when you wake up in the night, as I did this morning, and I thought, you know, no one talks about what age is starting to be too late. To me, at 30, they were still so young and had their life ahead of them. But at that point in time, to me, at 30, they need to know where they're going. If you're a mom and a dad who has about a 25 to 28, my son said he just didn't even know what he was doing at 25. He just didn't seem to matter where he drifted. You know, trying to help them. I know, like I said, we put him through many different schools. He even was through truck driving school. But nothing worked for him. And still today, he just doesn't have a path. And I know everybody says today's generation just doesn't have the options for like the full-time jobs. So if anybody has any input for a 40-something-year-old man, he is not married. He does have a teenage son, which I'm so proud of, our wonderful grandson. But he has direction. The grandson is high-tech already at 14. I've learned so much just about on YouTube from my 14-year-old. But anyway, I know I'm going longer. I don't like to do long videos. But last night, I just really had it on my heart to tell parents that when you have children in their 20s, they don't know what they're doing. But by their 30s, financial learning like a Dave Ramsey program to get them financially free, not to be in debt, is really important. And then to direction them into a job that could make sure that when you're in retirement age, that you are not, you know, just, you know, doesn't have enough money to survive anymore. And that's what I worry about him. You know, when you're in your 40s, you only have 25 years until you're back in retirement, and that time goes faster than anybody wants to think. For me, it was a blink of the eye. And so, anyway, I'm just speaking heart to heart with you today. If you have children, again, that don't know what they're doing, have an aptitude test or tests that are out there that shows them directioning. I have a friend who they did a test on him, and he wanted to be an attorney. Instead, they told him he was more of a high tech. Well, it turned out he was so high tech that he sold something for a few $1 million to Microsoft. Now, this has been years ago, but it was all because the guy told me he was given an aptitude test. He thought he wanted to be an attorney, but he would not have been a good attorney. So anyway, if anyone, again, has ideas or aptitude that anyone's taken that can direction a 40-year-old single guy, man, let me know. I feel lost for my son. I pray for him all the time. And as we know, we love our kids and our grandkids more than anything in the world, and we pray for safety and directioning for our families. And I just love the YouTube family out there, and I just thank all of you who continue to watch faithfully. I'm hoping to do better. I've just had so many things. I just lost a very close friend we've been lifelong friends since we were kids. And so a lot of time has been taken up in different areas. But I really do love you guys. The ones that comment and stick in here, I'm hoping to get better, but I need better technology. I need training on how to edit and do better. So I'm going to encourage you to say, hang in here with me, because I'm going on that cruise, and I'm hoping to have a fast-paced, fun. If anybody's ever not been on a cruise, I'm hoping this will show you what it's like to be on a cruise, because it is really fun. It was recuperation. I had had surgery in 2019, and a month later I went on a cruise. That was the best thing I could have done. I was able to relax, not worry about food, sleep if I wanted to. You know, I even had a doctor's permission to bring things along with me. And that was a recuperating trip. And just being able to not let your cortisone get stressed out, it was just so amazing. For me, cruises are rehabilitating. I don't drink. You know, a lot of people think it's just all partying. But I don't drink, and I do enjoy the fun things that a cruise has. If there's, you know, enjoy the slots a little bit. I mean, I don't really gamble a whole lot or anything. But the things that they have, from the pool, the sun, the dance parties, like on the pool deck, there's just so many things that you just don't do anywhere else. And you can tell I live way out in the middle of nowhere, so there's nothing here for any entertainment. We barely have a movie theater. So anyway, I'm so excited. I got my GoPro. I took it to the pool, and I've got my GoPro out. I'm hoping to have some snorkeling videos and what it's like to go on a cruise. If you've never been on a cruise, or if you have been on a cruise, tell me what you like, what you don't like. So anyway, I know I've been long-winded, but I care about you guys more than you know. This has been fun, and for me, it's a historic video of my life. I saw a video on cats from 20 years ago that has like 10 million views, and it's like a minute video. And I always think, you know, this is like a history of my life. And I'm loving that because I never used to take videos. So just remember, when you post to YouTube, that's you. That can be for your grandkids, your great-grandkids. It can be of historic value. So anyway, again, I'm going to cut this off now. Y'all have a really great day. And again, give comments if you would. I would love to have comments on what you want to see on a cruise, you know, tips on kids. You know, give me any kind of comment. I just love to hear from people. So anyway, again, I'll see y'all later. Bye. Have a great day.